you shape. Awesome. I remembered to press the button for Instagram today. It's a good way to start. All right, so we need to talk about some animal spirits today. You know, I love to start with the animal spirits. And I do feel a need to shake it up a little bit. I know we've been like, whew, so it's a new fiscal year. It's a new, hopefully you had a good July 4th if you're an American who is marking such an occasion. And I am happy to be back with you. So let's talk about vultures. So there was a giant vulture outside my outside my front door today. And wow, there's no vulture in here. That's so crazy. We need to go to Stephen Farmer's other book because we've got to talk about some vultures because it was, you know, right in front of my house, right in front of my door, and you just definitely want to take a look at that and be like, what's going on? Because thankfully there was nothing dead. What am I not missing? We're not getting it. So, all right, well, we're going to shift gears because we're going to be spirit meaning vulture. Okay, so here we are. Death, rebirth, purification, patience, protection, and this is my favorite. This is why I wanted to grab it. New beginnings. New beginnings. Because where we are, so we just had the new moon in Cancer, and now we are in so now we're in the waxing, so we're still in the like coming up. We just had the new moon, just came out of that energy last night, so we're in still the up, and so the moon is now in it's actually in Libra, and we had this new moon in Capricorn about a week ago, and then now we're going to have another moon in Capricorn in about 2 more weeks. So right now, what I love about this is because this first quarter moon, this waxing moon, is about, especially in Libra, it's about embracing your emotions and standing strong in your beliefs and in your desires and really planting your feet so firmly on the ground. And I love this because if we're looking at the spiritual meaning of the vultures, because, you know, we don't get them right outside the front door very often, such that my son called and said, hey, you know, watch out because there's this big giant bird. So to be able to say, this is a time of rebirth and re-beginning, and I love that because it is the beginning of the fiscal year, and it is like a new fiscal year, and it is also this time of like saying, okay, what do I want for this new year? Where do I want to go? What do I want to be? How do I want to show up in the world, right? We've talked about those kind of questions for so many times, but this is a time where we are in this waxing right now that's like, okay, it's not just about how do I show up in the world, but I am planting my feet firmly and saying, this is how I want to show up in the world. So beyond the question of how do I want to show up in the world, once we ask that question, to commit to that, commit to our, first of all, self-care and emotional well-being. That's priority 1. But second of all, to say, well, this is mine. This is mine. I literally have glasses on my shirt while I'm wearing glasses on my face. So this is mine. I'm committing to this. This is mine. And I am going to commit to my dream, to my passion, to my drive, to my go forward, my whatever. And to be able to say, okay, this is what I want. This is how I want to show up in the world. And then literally straighten your back, plant your flag, and say, okay, let's go. It's time. Let's go. Okay, so it's really important that we are taking advantage of this new moon time to be able to say, I can't wait till I get some kind of curtains on this window, just something. So I love that we can see my beautiful Nechama tree behind, but I find the cars going by slightly distracting. So we have this time where we are able to say, this is a time to be a little bit selfish, right? And that's okay, right? Self-care is definitely the priority. And this is a time to be a little bit selfish, to be able to say, this is, for me. So let's pull a card. We're going to pull a card from James Van Prague's Messages from Spirit. Okay, Messages from the Guides. So we're going to pull a card from here just to kind of give us an idea of what do we need to be just keeping in mind. Okay, this isn't changing your focus. This isn't changing your, anything about, change your direction or what have you. Your focus, where you're planting your flag and planting your feet, that is 100% you. It should not come from anyone else. When we have a goal or a direction or desire that comes from someone else instead of coming from within, when I say within, I mean from our heart, from our guts, and those things come from alignment, right? But it shouldn't be the thing for that your goal is the goal that someone has given you. And we know that happens because we have, kids who say, oh, I went to college because I was going to be a doctor because I thought that's what my parents wanted, or that kind of thing. And those of you who had, hello, sweet friend, and those of you who had heard me talk before about earning my first pink Cadillac in Mary Kay, that, the long time that it was everyone else's goal was like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this. It did not come. But when it was my goal that was not connected to the car, my goal was something else connected to how I was running my business and making money and providing for my family, car showed up. Okay, so it's really important that as we plant our feet firmly in this new fiscal year, in this time of the waxing moon, this first quarter, that we are going forward and we are saying, oh, hello, my goodness, it's Friends Week. Yay, it makes me so happy. So as we're planting our feet, it's really important that, one, we're taking self-care as the priority, and two, we're looking at this saying, hey, what is it that I want? Not someone else's goal that I think is going to make someone else happy or someone else told me I should do. What is it that I want? So we're going to pull a card. This is James Van Prague's Messages from the Guides, just as something to keep in mind, because remember, right, if you came in late, no worries, we were already talking about vultures, which is the new beginnings, death, rebirth, recreation, right? Starting something anew, because there was a big giant vulture outside my front door. And to have, it's the thing when you open the door and go, oh, hello, close. We'll just wait for you to move it along, and not have my dogs go ballistic. But this is the time where we're planting our own flag. And so this is James Van Prague. The card that I pulled is Kindness Counts. Okay, kindness counts. And this is super important because we get the ring light off there. There you go. This is super important because you see all the blue that's around it, right? Blue is our third eye. Blue is coming up into the crown chakra, into that indigo, because you have some of that deep blue up in the top here. And so the blue is also the voice, the throat chakra, saying what we want, saying true to ourselves, right? My goal, not the goal that I think is going to make someone else happy. So planting our feet firmly, but doing it with kindness. And this is not about being kind to others, which is always important. We always want to be kind to others. We always want to spread light. We always want to bring light. We want people to leave feeling happy that they met us, if we can. It's not always possible, but if we can, to be able to say, this is about kindness counts. This is about that self-care. Because remember, I said self-care is priority one, right? So the first thing we want to say is this is self-care. But as this moon, this first quarter moon, is in this time of Libra, this is also this time for emotional management, to say, how do I feel about this? Not how do you feel, or how do you think I should feel. How do I feel about, and when I say I mean you, to say for yourself, how do we feel about this? Okay, whatever that situation is, wherever you are in your life right now, this quarter moon is about standing firm for how do I want to show up in the world and what do I want. And self-care, kindness to ourselves is top priority. Priority number one, absolutely. Because here's the thing, you might be able to say, you know what I want is, I want a day off. I want to take a nap. I want to drink some extra water. I want to farm out a task. I want. This is about self-care. It is, hi, sweetheart. This is about finding the place where your goals are the important ones, where the voice in your head that you are listening to is your own, that's coming from your heart, from your solar plexus and sacral chakra, right? But it is in alignment with your higher guidance, okay? You're not taking advice from me or anybody else. This is the time, this rising moon, this waxing moon is, hey, your time. Right now in this time, because we just came out of the new moon in Libra, which reminds us, right, Libra the scales reminds us about balance. So this is really about how am I taking care of myself? How am I moving myself forward in the direction that I choose to go? Okay, all right, we're gonna leave that because I feel like I've said it in 6 different ways, which is important because, we want to make sure that everybody gets it, because, sometimes we need to hear something in a different way. And that is, that's really important. And in my, y'all know I've been part of Mary Kay for going on 3 decades now. And in the Mary Kay training, they'll tell you got to say something 7, 8 times before people will, hear it. So I'm always conscious of maybe not 7, 8 times, but I definitely want to say stuff before, more than one time, because I don't want anybody to miss it. Hello, more friends, hello, more friends. So, all right, so we're going to pull some cards that are going to be in alignment with what we've just been talking about. And then we'll see if we need to do any card readings today. So I hope you all had a great 4th of July in wherever you are, whether you were celebrating America's independence or you were celebrating just a nice day off. I hope everybody is good. There's a thing I want to say. The kindness counts card is really important because this is so much part of, there's unrest, right? That's nothing new. We know there's unrest, right? There's been unrest. There's going to be unrest until November, and then after November, there's going to be different kind of unrest and da-da-da-da. Thank you, Catherine. Hello, sweetheart. We are not obligated to join in the unrest. We are not obligated to sip from that cup. It is not our obligation. It is our obligation to be informed and to have, an educated opinion, okay? An educated opinion based in fact, not in other people's perceptions, okay? So be careful of your sources. Look for the information, not the drama, okay? And this is something I feel like is really important for us to continue to say for a long time because, it's going to get more dramatic as we continue to go forward. So look for the information and not the drama, okay? This is important because that goes part with the self-care. And it goes back to kindness matters, right? So we want to be part of kindness to ourselves, but at the same time, we want to be able to be kind to other people, okay? And when we come from the place of the light, it's so interesting. I'm watching things that are happening in the news, right? And I'm watching things that are happening in the news around the world. And I'm looking at situations where I thought, that was going to be really bad. And it might have been bad for a bit. I mean, I'm not discounting stuff that just flat out sucks. It might be bad, but I am seeing these glimmers of where, okay, that was bad. And a lot of people really had suffered under it. But I can see where there's light coming in and it's shifting things in a new direction. And I can't really give specifics because I don't want to get all into politics and world events and all that kind of stuff because that's just going to depress all of us. But it's very interesting when looking at things from a global perspective. There are cracks where the light is coming in. And you know that famous saying that says, we're all a little broken, that's how the light gets in? I live by that saying. It's one of my favorites, right? Because, we're not supposed to be perfect, but we are supposed to bring light and be kind where we can. Some people, sometimes, I hear you, but that starts with us first, right? And because we got to have some boundaries with some folks that we just, right? You heard me say it before, love them away, right? But being that kindness to ourselves and then remembering that it's important for us to be intelligent about what's going on in our world, but it's also important to come from a place of love. And we remember that everyone from every perspective is doing the best that they can with the information and the resources and abilities that they have. and that really, for the most part, whether you agree with people or don't agree with people, everyone is trying to make sure that their life and family is safe. And if you can come from that perspective, oh, and I love what Stacy just put. A light stick needs to be broken in order to activate the light. I love that. You know those glow sticks? You gotta, and it's brilliant, and it's so true. So if you can come from that perspective that we need to break some stuff in order to put stuff back together a better way, and that everyone is doing the best that they can with the resources and abilities that they have in the moment. Could you do better? Maybe. Could they do better on a different day? Maybe. But if we can remember that, we can come from that place of kindness, right? And remember, kindness starts in the heart. We start with ourselves, right? When we're taking good care of ourselves, it becomes easier to extend that kindness and compassion to others. When we are not taking care of ourselves and we are putting ourselves last, and we know we can do that, it makes it really hard when that one more person, where we just gotta and not lose our shit in front of them, right? So it's really important when we're taking care of ourselves, we are much more able to extend that light of kindness and shine that light to others, not on others, but to share it. Okay, right? We light a candle and we light another candle. We have more light instead of giving that light away. We're not giving that light away. We're extending it. Okay, so this first card is so interesting because I love when we talk first and then pull the cards after, because the cards are always listening. It's like they have little card ears. So it's upside down. This is the chop wood card. So this is the chop wood card. And the chop wood card reminds us to stay in our lane, to do our own work, and to focus on our goals, our path, to maybe stay in our lane and not feel like we have to rescue everybody, but we can offer compassion. I talked to somebody today who called to see if I could help, and I really couldn't. And I said, listen, I really am not the right person for this job, but I'm so glad to meet you, and I wish you so much good luck as you go forward. And that can be a full sentence to be able to say, that's it, right? Like, I'm done. And it was very nice to meet you, and thank you, have a good day, and hang up the phone. So Chopwood reminds us that it's not our job to save the world, but it's our job to save our little corner, to start with ourselves and to move ourselves forward. And we're not serving anybody by doing someone else's work. We're robbing them of the opportunity to learn and grow for themselves. When you have, that thing where you teach a man to fish, they can fish for forever. But if you, fish for them, then you rob them of the opportunity. I know I just butchered that quote, but you know what I mean. We rob them of the opportunity to learn and grow for themselves. So when we are doing someone else's work, we are stealing from them and we are stealing from ourselves. So the chopwood reminds us that it's so important that we, again, starting with self-care, we are planting our feet. We're saying, this is what I want. This is where I'm going, what I'm doing. Because when we are living in our true purpose and our light, we are now expanding that light and raising our vibration. So the people who are low vibration won't even see us or hear us anymore, because we're vibrating at a different frequency, attracting more abundance and richness and wellness and marvelous things to the light to us, and we are now vibrating with higher vibrational beings. When we stay in our lane and we do our own work, chop wood, we are really in alignment with our purpose. We are more in alignment with our purpose, and we're not stealing that opportunity from someone else. Now, having said that, let me say this. I meant to say it at the top. Let me say it now, because I will forget, and I'll say it again. So this Thursday night, you can study with me for a full hour for $15. It's a fundraiser for the Journey Within Spiritualist Union National Church in Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. It is such a fantastic opportunity. I'm so excited to teach this class. I'm so excited to be invited to teach 2 classes with the church. And I will be teaching, the first one is this Thursday, and then the second one's going to be in August. I think it's August 13th. And I'm just so excited about this. And this class, it is $15. Go to either my page and you'll see the link. It's a featured post on my Facebook page and on my personal Facebook page. It's on my Instagram, but you can go to the Journey Within Spiritualist Church in New Jersey. You just Google it and you go to classes and workshops. You can sign up. It's $15. And we're going to be talking about how you manifest by unspooling your DNA to create the energy frequency that you need to bring abundance and manifestation to you. So it's going to be a really good hour. I'm so excited to bring this class to a larger audience. I have taught this class before, and it is just it's so exciting to me to bring this to a new audience, and it's always such a wonderful experience, and I can't wait to share it. So again, this Thursday night, the 11th, the Journey Within Spiritualist Church in New Jersey. It's on Zoom. You don't have to go to New Jersey. We're going to do it right here online. It's $15. It's a fundraiser for the church. Please come and join us. It's going to be a fantastic class. And again, this is part of, for me, this is part of staying in my lane and doing the work that I was given, because again, they came and asked me if I would teach this class. Now, the second card that we're going to pull is, what else do we need to know about this, doing our own work and doing our job to be able to make the world a better place and to enrich our lives and the lives of others? And the second card that comes in is the Milk and Honey card. And again, it's upside down, which is a reminder that we want to make sure we're going in our right direction, that we're staying in our lane, that we're not getting distracted. You know, we don't want blinders, okay? We don't want to put blinders on, but we want those bumpers that they put on the bowling. When little kids bowl, they cover up the gutters and they put in where it's just a bumper, right? So they can still hit the gutter, but they'll bounce back into play, right, when they're bowling. I know they do it for some adults too. It's okay. No shame. But we're not putting on blinders, right, where we're like, I'm not going, la, 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 I don't want to hear what's going on out there, but we're staying in our lane, okay? So it's a little bit wider than blinders, okay? And so we have this Milk and Honey, and again, it's upside down. It's reminding us that we want to be engaged in what's going on in the world around us, but we still want to stay in our lane, and we still want to do our work. And when we do that, we're going to be able to reach that abundance. We're going to be able to celebrate the win. We're going to be able to celebrate that land of milk and honey, which is the symbol for abundance, going right all the way back to Exodus, right? So, you know, the Israelites, you come into the land of Israel and the land flowing with milk and honey, because this is the abundance and the blessing. So when we stay in our lane and we're doing our work, not someone else's work, and we're not being blind to the universe, but we're staying in our lane, we can say to someone, I would love to help you. I can't right now. I've got to focus on my task. I wish you all the love and light and blessing in the world, all those things. We stay in our lane. We do our own work. We receive this blessing and abundance. Now, again, it starts with that kindness matters, right? We start with being kind to ourselves, being kind to others. And it's really important that it's okay for us. This card, Milk and Honey, also reminds us about play and self-care, right? When we are in that place of prioritizing self-care, we're in another place where we're able to raise our own vibration, which helps us to be a bigger conduit to the universe, which is one of the things we're going to be talking about on Thursday. And it helps us, it reminds us that prosperity is ours. Prosperity and abundance is ours for the taking when we can stay in our lane and stay on our path. In my house, one of our mottos is do the work that you're given, right? That means I'm not taking that opportunity from somebody else, but if that opportunity is plopped in my lap, like the pastor of the church that called me and said, would you teach this class? That's the work that I've been given. You say, yes, I will do that work that I've been given, because I know that it will ripple out and bless other people, right? So we do the work that we've been given, but we still prioritize self-care. We come from that place of love and kindness and being able to be good stewards, but we are not wandering off into rescueitis, right? We're not wandering off into like, oh, yes, just hold on, because you know how you can like go down the rabbit hole, right? I found myself this week guilty, because I always try to be very transparent. We had this amazing trip to Alaska, and I know I had put some pictures online. We went in early May. I've been so busy because we were gone for like a month. We went to New York, we went to England, we went to Alaska, and it all sort of congealed into like one long trip, practically, not really, but it felt like I was gone for like a month. And so it's been all kinds of like catching up, and then there was new projects that came up, and the end of the fiscal year and the new fiscal year and all kinds of stuff that's been going on. And so I'm like, oh, I need to get those pictures so I can get them organized and get them in an album. And so I looked at my phone. I'm like, oh, I need to clean out these pictures. And Google Storage is like, alarm, you're running out of space. And I'm like, oh, I need to clean. And down the rabbit hole I went. Okay, and it's not a bad thing because it was a project that was long overdue. It needed to get done for a lot of reasons because some of those pictures were connected to other projects. So it's great that it got done, but we want to be careful. Like, is that the work that we are given? Like, is that what we're supposed to be doing right now, or is it not? And so can't answer that question, for anybody else. I know for me it was the right, it was the right thing, but we want to be careful because when you go down that rabbit hole, it's like a maze. You'd be like, oh, but then I could go here and I could go there, and it's like, no. Stay in the one lane, right? Stay in your lane. This is the lane we're in right now. We're doing the picture thing because there was a reason, and all of those things that Brenda says she did the same thing. So it's really important that we're doing the work, but we're staying in our lane. And if you're going down the rabbit hole, just know where the stop sign is, right? Know where that stop sign is, because I did that project, there's an abundance that comes, right? So sometimes we've got to go down the rabbit hole. You just want to make sure it's only one rabbit hole at a time, and that you are, again, still doing that work that you've been given. That is the thing that's going to move you forward on your path, and that fills your heart because it's your, what did I say in the beginning? What is it that I want right now, right? And this is that opportunity to say, what is it that I want? Okay, and so this was a project that, again, was long overdue. I'm like, I need to get these pictures out so I can do this other project, not related to Alaska. So, okay, and so here's the third card is like, where are the speed bumps? Where are the hiccups we need to be worried about? And this is regeneration, and this goes so full circle with where we started with a vulture on my front porch. So to be able to say, sometimes we got to burn it down to rebuild it up, okay? And so, and one of the things, and I'm reminded of this because I was just looking at these pictures. A couple years ago, we went to Oregon and Washington State for, some of you know Elias Patras. We went for his wedding, but we spent like 10 days out there with friends and family, and we went hiking, and we hiked up. We did a 5-mile hike above Multnomah Falls, and we went up like, oh gosh, I think it was 1,600 feet. It might have been more. I don't know. It was a lot. It was like 3 miles straight up and then 2 miles down. But when we were going up, we went up past the place where the forest had burned. So we literally were walking through where the trees were black, but the ground was lush. And it was beautiful, and it smelled amazing, and you could hear all the bugs and the birds and the wildlife, and it was just incredible to see the forest being reborn. And so sometimes we got to rip shit up in order to be able to replant, right? And I do that in my garden, right? If anybody's a gardener, we do that in the seasons, right? We rake it all up, and I love that we grow sweet potatoes here, and I love that because every time I rake it all up to change for the season, I find more sweet potatoes. So we rake it all up, and we pull it all out, and we till it up, and we stir the soil so that we can start again. And this is where we are right now, right? This is where we are. New fiscal year. This is the time where we had this, self-care time of Libra, and now here we are in Cancer, and now we have this waxing moon in Libra. This is all about, what do I want? Where am I going? And I'm planting my feet to stand in my truth about it, right? So we've had this time where we burn it all down. And so what this card is talking about is, don't stay in the fire. Don't stay in the fire. Don't stay in it's warm. I get it. I know. But don't stay in there so long that you forget what you're rebuilding, or you get procrastination, itis, where you're like, I'm fixing to get ready to get going to get started, and someday I'm gonna. And so we are not building up the stuff that we burned it down and cleared it out, and we're ready to go, and it's going, let's go. Okay, so this is a warning that says, hey, don't get stuck in the I'm fixing to get going to get started and not doing it, okay? So it's really important that we have this. So we have the vulture, which is the death and and so it's a perfect full circle. The rebirth, the regeneration, right? Reincarnation, the rebuilding of something that's new. And then we also had the card about kindness, right? Being self-care and having that as our priority. And then we have the chop wood card, which reminds us we've got to stay in our lane. We've got to do our work and not the work of someone else, right? Which stays in that focus of, what do I want? Which is part of the Libra quarter moon. So what do I want? Not what do I think others want me to do, right? We stay in our lane. And when we do that, we have that abundance, right? We are teaching ourselves to fish. We're going to be ready. We are set to go. We are learning new skills, and we are equipped to go forward and have this abundance. And we are receiving the abundance. When we are staying in our lane and we are keeping our blinders on and doing the work that we are given, that is the work of our heart that is given to us by divine light, then we are ready to receive that abundance. When we can say, yep, that's my alignment. That's where I'm going. That's what I'm doing. That's when we are receiving that milk and honey, right? That blessing, that abundance, that joy. And reminder, milk and honey is also about play, right? So we want to make sure we're not taking everything so seriously that we're not just work, right? Remember, back to that self-care was the priority. Self-care was number one. And remember that we don't want to go down the rabbit hole too far, right? You go down the rabbit hole, do what you need to do, but you get one rabbit hole, right, at a time, okay? Don't go down there and then there and there and there. Okay, you get lost, okay? One rabbit hole at a time, because you're ready. This is the time of the regeneration. We already had the burn it down. This is the time of the regeneration. And so this card is reminding us, don't get lost. Stay true, right? Stay in your lane and go forward, because this is the time of the going forward. Like, this is the time right now. It's like, woo, right? We just had 4th of July with the firecrackers and all of that, right? And it's that moment where the firecracker, my neighbors were like right out in the street, just like right there out in the street, and they were letting off the fireworks, and you could hear the little where the thing would go up. And there's that moment. It's like, boom, right? And there's that moment that has all the potential in the world. And so we look before the explosion of wonderful, beautiful, freaking out my dogs, fireworks. But this is that moment, right? We're in the boom right now. Right now, we're in the boom. I made it up the word. It is. All right. One more thing that's super important. Please stay hydrated. I don't know where you live, but we're here in Central Florida. It's 105 today. And we got a heat warning because the feel like is 112. So I went on my run this morning at 8:30 with my partner, and I can tell you, yes. So, all right. If you're looking for a card, go ahead and put it in the comments. Let's do some cards. Also, if anyone has questions, if I say something and you have a question about it, please don't hesitate to throw that in the comments, to throw that in the chat and be like, hey, I didn't get that. Explain this. Like, let's have a conversation. It does not just have to be me yammering along, okay? So if you have a question about something I said, you didn't understand it, definitely speak up, okay? Please do not hold that to yourself. All right, I see Stacy, my sweet friend. Stacy, I have to say I've been catching up on all the stuff from September that I missed while I was in England on Joe's website of all the recordings. You all were amazing. I loved seeing you and Anna and Rebecca and Shane. I mean, you all just did such an incredible job. I'm so excited. Okay, so we've got Stacy, we've got Belinda, we've got Brenda, and we've got Chris. All right, those will be our first 4. All right, so remember, you don't have to share your question, just have it in your mind, and that way when we pull the card, the cards will know what is going on. So, and so any of you who are not following Stacy Neatondahl, if you are on Facebook, you can see her in the comments. If you're not following her, you should be, because she does amazing things with cards, and she's a beautiful medium, and she's just a wonderful human. So if you're not following Stacy Neatondahl, you should definitely be doing that, because she's got a total different, like, Earth Mother, hippie kind of energy than I do, and I love the crap out of her. So she's definitely somebody. I hope it's okay to say that, Stacy. She's definitely somebody. If you're not following her, you should definitely be following her. And so even as I say that, this card jumps out at me. And so this is upside down. This card is To Be Fair, Stacy. This card number 38. It's upside down, To Be Fair. And this card is reminding you not to pull yourself in so many directions, okay? This is reminding you to find that balance, that self-care, right? And this is reminding you to not let somebody pull you off balance, right? To stay true to yourself, to stay true to your alignment, your desires, to your path, and make sure that you're not again, rabbit hole, right? That you're not letting somebody else pull you off course, okay? So this is about keeping yourself, where is that? There you go. To keep yourself in the balance, okay? Staying in alignment for yourself. Things are going to happen. I mean, things happen, and there's stuff that we can't always control. Don't let that throw you off course, okay? Don't let that be a thing that says, oh, well, I guess I'm not meant to do that, right? I hate that when people say, oh, well, you know, I said I was going to do this, and then I stubbed my toe. That must be a sign that says, oh, I shouldn't do that. No, that's bullshit. Okay, Stacy's not bullshit. But that excuse that we give ourselves when something happens and we just say, oh, I guess I'm not supposed to. No, this is the opportunity for what is that they say, the serenity prayer, right? To say, I accept the things I can and change the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference, right? So Stacy, this is just reminding you to know the difference. This is reminding you to stay true to yourself, to not let somebody or something derail you, because you know where you're going and you know what's true in your heart. And this is a really important time that you are saying, look, nope, that's the direction I'm going in, and you can try to throw me off course, but I'm keeping in my lane. I'm staying in my way, okay? So Stacy, that's the message for you, my darling. Okay, so Belinda. All right, Belinda says, okay, so I'm going to pull another card for Belinda because literally, oh, Stacy says major freight train this week. Keep true to you, baby. You can do this, okay? You've got this. You just got to remember who you are and remember who's in charge. You stay in alignment. The freight train's going to go by. You're going to get through it, and it's going to be okay, right? Right? The wisdom to know the difference. So Belinda, I'm going to pull another card. Where am I? Belinda, I'm going to pull another card because I pulled the same card, to be fair. So I want to make sure, I'm just going to put this one to the side. I just want to make sure that we are getting, not that the message wasn't valid for you as well, but I know you do, Stacy. I know you do. It's one of the things I love about you. You have such grounded energy. Okay. So Belinda, just as a second, in case this was still just feeding into Stacy's energy, to be fair, I want to make sure I pull a card, and this is the Imagine card, okay? And so, Belinda, this is the opportunity that says, yes, it's possible. This is a time of manifestation. Yes, it's possible. And so the things that you're thinking of in your heart, but then you're swallowing them when they try to rise up to become words, right? We think of these things in our heart, and it tries to come up in the words, and we just go... Yeah, right. So this card is so much blue because it's all about speaking the truth and allowing that truth to come out. So Belinda, she says as she chokes. So Belinda, I know that there's a dream in there. I know that there's a project in there that you are wanting to get out, but you're swallowing it. You're swallowing it. And so this question is going to ask you, and we're so conditioned in our society these days to be like, well, what if we say, well, what if, and we say immediately, we go, well, what if, and I'm like, well, no, what if it's a huge success? What if you put something out there and somebody else is like, oh my God, I so needed that? What if it's a blessing to yourself, to your family, to your whatever? So Belinda, this is the time for you to be like, imagine what is possible for you. This thing you've been swallowing, this is this time for you to spit it out. And so my challenge to you is to tell one person this thing that you've been thinking about, to tell one person. You don't have to scream it to the world if you're not ready to do that. But right now, this is about longing. What are you wanting to bring out into the world? Or what are you wanting to do or learn? This thing, tell one person, right? Because sometimes we're afraid to tell somebody because we are pretty certain there's going to be some kind of a negative reaction, right? So Belinda, I'm challenging you to tell one person this thing, what it is that you want to do. And, take one step towards, what would it look like for me to do that? What would it take for me to be able to do that? Do I need to investigate a class? Do I need to buy special shoes? Do I need to buy a journal? What is it? What is one step? Even baby steps count. What is one step that you could take towards moving yourself in that direction? Because the thing that's inside of you is so valuable. It is so valuable. It is part of, as Stacy says, knowing who you are and allowing yourself to be that truth. Okay, and to be able to move yourself forward on your path, right? Keeping true to you, allowing yourself to dream, and allowing yourself to open the door for the reality manifestation, the boots on the ground creation of said dream. Okay, this is the time, Belinda. This is the time. So, Belinda says both cards really resonate. Lots of negative people want to travel. So find one person that you can count on to be your balcony person, not your basement person. Find that one person and tell them what you want. And then I'm going to tell you, start looking around. See what you can find. You would be amazed, especially for travel. Oh my gosh, there are amazing deals out there. You just have to be willing to look. And sometimes those deals that are like the super uber deals are like the ones that are short, quick. Like, could you go in 2 weeks? So, could you? What if? All right. I believe. And I can't wait to hear where you're going to go. All right, we're going to do Brenda. We're going to come back over. We've got Brenda. Very excited. Brenda. This is a change in the wind. A change in the wind. I love this card. The zebra. He's got all his stuff on his back. He's ready to go, right? And if you look, he's like got the sun behind him. You can see that slight little shadow on the ground pushing forwards, right? So he's moving, and you can see the wind is not, the wind is in the face, which we're going in the wind, right? We're stepping into the wind, but we're also going into the sun, okay? So we have everything that we need to be successful, Brenda. You have it already with you, in you, on you. You have everything that you need to be successful. The part for you is, if you'll notice, his feet are not moving. He's not moving. And so it's important that we are keeping our feet on the ground, but that we are also getting in motion, okay? So Brenda, for the thing that you are changing, for the place that you're going, for the shift that's happening, the rabbit hole that you went down is the right one. This is confirmation for you that the rabbit hole is the same, okay? That you were absolutely on the right track to do it, and this is the confirmation that says, okay, you did that work, you did that clean out, you did the prep. Now it's really important that you get the feet in gear and go forward, because this change in the wind is the right time for you. Okay, it's the right time for you. Okay, Belinda, you are so welcome. All right, man, let's go. Brenda is welcome too, and we're gonna go. Chris, I believe, is next, and then we have Chris and Cindy and Karen. Okay, and I'm getting there. All right. All right, Chris. So interesting. So this is chop wood again, upside down. So we've already talked about this. So I'm going to put it to the side. I'm going to pull the next card that was with it. And this is the Observer card. And this is card 49, because I know Chris likes to know the numbers. This is card 49, Observer, but it was also upside down, Chris. So we want to make sure that, again, we're not just observing, we're actually getting in the game, okay? So it's really important that, can you see what's the bigger picture, okay? We're not getting stuck in the minutia, okay? We're not getting stuck in the minutia, and we are allowing ourselves to see the bigger picture, because you're looking. Can I turn it right back upside up? Because you're looking at it. You have the telescope, right? And we're looking at the moon. We love the moon, right? And lots of stars, and it's a waxing moon. Okay, you see it? It's a waxing moon, right? Here it is, this waxing moon. It's not a new sliver. It's a waxing moon. But when we look at things through telescopes, or what is this? It's not a binoculars. It's a telescope, or I don't know. That when we look at those things, we're seeing this much. We're seeing this keyhole. And so the observer is reminding you, yes, it's so important that we're paying attention to what's going on around us, but don't get caught in the keyhole. Don't get so caught up in the minutia that we can't see what's going on around us, right? I walk my dogs. I always have my headphones in, because I like to listen to podcasts and music and stuff. But I try, when I'm outside with the dogs, I try to only put one headphone in, because I want to make sure I'm hearing what's going on around me. Like, because I'm on the board of my HOA, and so a lot of times my neighbors will like flag me down, and then when they do it and I have both earphones in, they scare me. So it's important that we keep one eyeball, ear, 1 foot in the present moment of what's going on, that we don't get so caught up about where we're going or what we're doing, that we talked about the difference between staying in our lane and having blinders, right? So it's really important that we're not getting shrunk down into the blinders, that we're getting caught up in the minutia of it, that we're not allowing the bigger picture, the energy to flow. When we are so focused on the pebble, the one single star, we might miss the comet that goes by. We might miss the shooting star, because we're only looking at this one thing. And so Chris, this observer, is reminding you, because you have such a keen eye, and you are so observant, and you are such a detailed person, but this is reminding you to keep the blinders open, right? My window is open. My windows are open. Keep the bottle open. Keep the windows open, okay? So this is something that's really important, about keeping the windows open, keeping the eyes open, and not looking through the keyhole, okay? So that's going to be the card for Chris. All right, so we're going to go, I think, to I think, to Cindy. Okay, we have Cindy and Karen. Okay, and we have Cindy and Karen. Okay, awesome. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. All right. So happy to see my friend Cindy. I'm so happy to see all my friends today. There's like lots of friends today. That always makes me super happy. One thing I've been throwing out there, if you wanted to like offer an opinion, was about the time. One of the things I was asking about as we go forward into like when the kids go back to school kind of thing, should we look at shifting the time? Do we like 4:30 Eastern? Do we like earlier? Would like a little later? I'm open to information and opinions and thoughts about the timing. So let me know. All right. So we have Cindy. I love this. Cindy. To the Sea is a card for you, my dear friend. And I love this card because it's calm. Okay? She's going forward. It's card 7. It's a new journey. We're safe. We've gotten over the humps. We're moving forward because here's the thing. She's not looking at a map. She's not looking forward. The boat is clearly going backwards in the camera. The boat is going forward. The telescope's in the back. She's not looking at a thing. The sea is calm. There's no concerns here. She's just enjoying the ride, and she's allowing herself to be carried through by the universe. She's following her heart. She's saying, this is where I want to go. I pointed the boat in that direction, and I'm trusting that that's the direction I'm going to go in. And so, Cindy, I know there's lots of new opportunities and new some shifting things going on around you, because I know we had I had talked with you about some of that. This is reminding you that you are on the right track, and that your job is not to worry, and your job is not to try and like drive the boat for everyone. Your job is to allow Spirit to drive the boat co-create with you. Okay, so those things that are in your heart, those things that are feeling like I know, trying new things or moving in a new direction, allow that Spirit is driving the boat with you. Okay, you are not locked. You're not a prisoner in the boat. But you are, because she's so relaxed and she's just hanging out in the boat, and this is just allowing things to unfold as they will. Okay, you don't have to control it all. Allow things to unfold as they will, because they will be peaceful. You can see it in the water. She's not paying attention to where she's going. She's just enjoying. She's probably reading her book in her lap. The telescope thing, skyscope. Why can I not think of that word? Is behind her. And she's just going along. So just enjoy the ride right now, my friend. Enjoy the ride right now. Okay? All right. Chris says exactly the card that I needed. Thank you so much. And thank you, my friend and my friend's guides. And those are your guides, too, that are, like this is not just me and my folks. This is definitely a team sport, the work that we do here. All right. So we've got Karen Fisher. Okay, Karen. Ooh, Karen's got the All That Glitters card, but it is upside down. And so, Karen, this is a reminder, and if you're a numbers person, this is card 16, because I feel like I'm supposed to tell you that. So, Cindy says, great card, right on. The cards don't lie, okay? It's not me, it's the cards. All right, so, Karen, this is a reminder for you of what's underneath, okay? I'm going to turn it right side up so you can get a good look at it. All that glitters, right? All that glitters might not be gold, and just make sure that you are, again, being true to yourself, that you are following that, your guts, following your instincts, feeling like, what is the truth in this situation for me? Because if it looks too good to be true, I never want to say, if it looks too good to be true, it isn't. Because I have had so many experiences that were like, I can't even believe that this is happening. Amazing. So if it looks too good to be true, it might. But if it looks too good to be true, take a closer look, okay? So I never want to say it isn't, because why would you say that? But if it looks too good to be true, look a little closer, okay? And so look and see, because there might be just something else that needs to be revealed. There might be something else that you need to know about the situation, so you're going into a good situation with your eyes wide open. Okay, so Karen, this is a little bit of cautious. We're looking for the substance of the situation over the flash, okay? Right, what is that thing they say, all flash, no substance, right? With people who are like, woo, I don't know. I don't think I know anybody like that. But we're looking for the substance, that there's something in this mountain of gold that is really important and has the ability to be a blessing, but we want to make sure we really understand it for what it is, okay? And so it's not that it's not gold. It's just we really want to make sure we understand it for what it is, because this is, sometimes we get the answer that we want and we stop Like, if you get the answer you want, you stop, right? We're like, great. Okay. But we want to make sure that we're doing things for the right reason. We're going in the right direction. We're doing things that are in alignment. And maybe sometimes the easy way, because we got the answer we wanted, isn't necessarily the answer we needed. Okay, so when we get a card like this, All That Glitters, it's really important that we just take another look and say, okay, I've got the green light. Is this really the right direction? And so just to look a little bit deeper. All right, we're going to pull one more card. Did I miss anybody? I got everybody, right? Got everybody? You are very welcome, Karen. You are so welcome. So again, I don't like that set saying when people say, oh, if it looks too good to be true, it probably isn't. What if it is? What if it is? I mean, why can't we have mountaintop experiences? Let's claim that. Well, wow, it is really good. I was just talking about you, Elias. It is Old Friends Day. I was just talking about you. I was saying how I went out to Oregon and Washington for your beautiful wedding. Happy anniversary. It's not now, is it? It's coming up, though, right? In September? October? Can't believe it's been 2 years. I'm excited. All right. Hi, my friend. Now he's yelling, but if you know Elias, that's just how he talks. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, a card from my dear friend Elias. Ooh, this is the yin card. This is the yin card. Okay, so what's possible? What's possible? So we've been talking the whole time about self-care. We've been talking about how kindness to ourselves is a priority. How about taking time, right? Making sure that we are working on the goals and in the direction and the path that is ours. I can't believe it's been 2 years already. That we're in alignment with ourselves and that we're not veering off to do the things that we think others want us to do or that we're supposed to do, things like that. And so this card is just reminding you to slow it down. Okay, just to slow it down. Okay, embrace the feminine, take a little breath, right? Have a little I'm okay, a little moment, right? And if you know Elias, he's always going in 100 directions. And so this card is just reminding you, my friend, to just take a breath, light a little candle, have a bath, something that just allows you to remember you've got to take care of self before you can continue to take care of everyone else. And when we're prioritizing self-care, it's much easier for us to continue to give because we're doing things that are filling us up. And so it's really important. This is a reminder that you probably need, but you don't need, because I know you're always going in 20 directions, but this is just this reminder from Spirit that's saying, hey, we see all the amazing, amazing things that you are doing, but make sure you're taking a breath, okay? Make sure you're taking some time for yourself as well. You can't keep going and giving it to everybody all the time. You've got to take a breath for you, okay? And, okay, so indulge me, because I don't ever pull 2 cards for people unless the first card was a repeat of the one we just did, but something is talking to me about pulling one more card for Elias. And so this is, as I just went to split the cards to shuffle, and it said, like I hear it in my head, like pull another card for Elias. I see your comment, but this is just changing the wind. This is something else is coming for you, so it's going to be important for you to like slow down so you don't miss it. Okay, so question is, can self-care be about focusing on creating work? Absolutely. Self-care can absolutely be about creating work, because that's something that fills you up and it energizes you and it fills you, and so that definitely falls into the change in the wind where you're creating something new and working on a new project. But the part where it comes back into the yin card of self-care is, this is not like getting so lost. We've been talking about going down the rabbit hole today, right, of various things. So this is important, that you're not going down the rabbit hole, that you're not working until 4 a.m. and then tomorrow you got to get up and then you're like, ugh, because you were so excited in the work. Okay, there needs to be boundaries for ourselves, because those of us who work for ourselves, when we are creating new things, we can totally go down the rabbit hole, right? We can totally be like, I am on a roll, I'm in the zone, I want to finish creating, and then it's like 4 a.m. and we've not put a boundary for our self-care while we're in the zone. That means either something has to shift tomorrow, or we get to a breaking point, a stopping point, not a breaking point, a stopping point, and we say, okay, here's my notes for where I want to pick up so that we can get back in the zone, but we are saying, okay, and here's where I'm going to stop for tonight. Or we set a timer that says, I'm going to stop by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and when we get to that point, we say, okay, here's my notes. I want to make sure I don't forget for tomorrow so I can get back into the zone. But there is a balance to be had between self-care and the excitement of creation, and self-care and balancing, like being able to get up in the morning. And some people are much more effective at night. I know that for me, I 100% come alive at like 3 o'clock. Like in the morning, I go running, I go swimming, I do my reading and my me time. And by like 3 o'clock, I will totally work from 3 until 1. And that makes me happy. Drives my husband crazy, but it makes me happy because that's when I'm productive. But sometimes I'll get till 2 o'clock and I'm like, oh, now I'm going to pay for this tomorrow. So there's a balance to be had between having the self-care and having some boundaries while you are in that creation mode, because I know how exciting that is. And we don't want to stifle the creativity, but we don't want to burn ourselves out while we're doing it, okay? I love this. Chris says, self-care is something that brings you joy and peace in your soul. It's not a Pinterest perfect bubble bath with wine and candles and a good book. It's the really real self-care if it brings you contentment. Timer is a good reminder. Speaking of creating, let's talk about my availability for an event next year. I love it. I am available. All right. So, yes, Elias, my darling, I will call you as soon as we're done with this, because we're going to pull our closing card. And now, please don't forget, my first class for Journey Within is on this Thursday at 7:30 Eastern Time. You can study with me for a full hour on totally different topics from this, about unspooling your DNA and creating the life that you were born to live, the life that you want, manifesting co-creation with the universe. How does it all really work, and what is that thing you're missing? Right? So this is the opportunity to study with me for 15 minutes and for $15 for an hour, and it's an amazing class. I love teaching this class, and I'm so honored that they have invited me to teach. And Elias has put the link to the church right here in the comments, and it's also a fundraiser for the church. So I'm just absolutely thrilled. So that's this Thursday, 7:30. Don't miss it. And so here's our card. For our closing card for today is the card of peace. I don't think I need to say much more about that. So this is about, I will anyway, peace within, right? Peace in our hearts, peace in our alignment, peace in our world. Because when we are in alignment and we are at peace with ourselves, doesn't mean we're not excited. Doesn't mean we're not jazzed up about what we're working on and creating. But when we're at peace with ourselves, then we have the opportunity to expand that. Our energy vibration rises, our energy vibration extends, and the people who come in contact with us, they get excited and their energy goes up. And when we are sharing that love and kindness, right? We started with kindness today too. That kindness extends, and we're sharing our light one with the other, right? We're sharing our light with the next person, with the next person, with the next person, and we're lighting it all up, all for the whole thing. So, did Laura Worcester just posted my comment? Oh my goodness, hello Laura. Or is that the link that you have? Thanks, Laura. So happy to see you. All right, does it make sense? Peace, peace. And as with all the things, always know how very much you are loved. From above, from around, from within. We are born of love. We come from love. The universe is made of love. The universe operates, that is the engine on which the universe flows, is love. And so regardless of what is going on in the world around us, just always remember, you come from love, you are made of love, you are meant for love, you are loved. And I will see you next Monday. I will see you on Thursday. Can't wait to have you all with us on Thursday. Thank you, Laura and Elias, for posting the links. Thanks, Laura. I really appreciate it. And y'all have a beautiful day. Remember, we do shut down the comments after the live is over to help protect you from spammers. So if you need to talk to me, please don't hesitate to send a message. And I love you all. I'll see you next week.